Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping back by. Today I'm really excited to start this series that I hope to keep going for a while. We'll see if I can continue to get the information I need to do the best and most accurate videos on the topic. And what I will be doing is reviewing vintage perfumes favored by some of my favorite actresses and singers and creatives. So today we're going to start off with the one that arrived at my house first because I ordered several, and it is Emeraude by Coty. This was the scent preferred by Billie Holiday herself. So Lady Day loved this perfume. And I thought it was really cool that I could still purchase the scent that she loved. Now, I have no expectations that this will be exactly as it smelled when she wore it 70, 80 years ago. I'm under none of those expectations, but I am very excited to see what kind of scent appealed to her and try to analyze what must have been the mindset for preferring this particular scent. So Emeraude was launched in 1924, and you can still buy vintage bottles on things like eBay, different secondary markets. You can find a rare bottle from time to time, but it is almost 100 years old, this particular formulation. 98 years old, actually. It was by Coty. Francois Coty, of course, designed his name was on a lot of different products, Perfume being one of them, but also some other products, beauty products. They used to sell, Coty, the company, sold airspun powder and that kind of thing, which was also perfumed. I remember the smell of airspun. When I smell it, it's very distinct. And so they launched this fragrance, and I'm going to open it up and show it to you and tell you more about this particular combination of essences. So this is what it looks like when it's outside of the box. And it is a cologne spray, so I do not have the same expectations of this as I would an eau de parfum, because of course cologne sprays tend to have higher proportions of alcohol. It gives you a lower price point, but it also doesn't give you the same amount of staying power. Now, speaking of price point, this is extremely accessible at $13 US a bottle. And so I will put the information in the description box so that you can check it out for yourself. But I was shocked that it was so accessible as far as price goes. Another fragrance that I have on the way here, also extremely accessible, less than $15 per bottle for a different performer from the mid-century period. So anyway, so this is what we got. We got a cap, we got a spray. This is 2.5 fluid ounces or 75 milliliters. And again, it is a cologne spray and sprays with ease. I'm wearing it now, and I'm going to give you my impressions of it in a moment, but I'm going to tell you the scent profile. You can also read it in the description box because I'll put all the details. So we've got first some top notes, and the top notes are orange, bergamot, and lemon. And to be honest with you, I did not smell the bergamot so much, but it does have a very lemony opening to it. Then we've got the mid notes, which are jasmine, ylang-ylang, Brazilian rosewood, and rose. So you've got a lot of floral and a little bit of spice in there too with the ylang-ylang. So lots of florals and lots of woody notes there in the middle. But then you've got the base notes of Opoponax, which is a resin, so you can expect it to smell a little bit earthy. You've got some benzoin, amber, sandalwood. You've got patchouli as well as vanilla. All that in the base notes. So when you spray this, you do get that citrus opener. Like I said, I don't get a ton of bergamot, but definitely lemony to me when it opens. But funny, when I smell it in the bottle, just smelling on the nozzle, I smell the lemon. But when I sprayed it, I didn't smell it. So, you know, your nose might be a little more sensitive to that than mine, even though I have one of the world's, I think, most sensitive noses ever. So when you put it on, and I'm wearing it now, it smells vintage in the best possible way. Sometimes when you think vintage, you think of a perfume that is outdated, that maybe has been exposed to too much heat or too much sun or some other elemental issue that has caused the fragrance to be less true to its original formulation. That is not what I mean when I say this smells vintage. I mean, this smells like some of the ladies that I met when I was a child who were old women, women that have since transitioned because they were very old when I was children. I'm certain someone used this in that mix. I'm certain because it's such a familiar scent and it does call to mind some smells of my childhood. Now, when I smell it, I do smell some of these notes. Of course, I can smell the lemon when I smell it from the nozzle. I can also smell a little bit of the jasmine, a little bit of those earthy notes as far as the rose and the rosewood. I certainly can smell a touch, just a touch of patchouli and a little bit of vanilla. I do smell that warmth and sweetness. And absolutely amber. You all know I love some amber scents. So yes, that is what I smell in this. But when they come together, it smells powdery. It does not smell loud. Now, when I first saw the box, I admit I was a little bit intimidated because I see it and I'm like, this is a dark green. Is this going to be a dark or heavy scent? And then you pull this out, which is the funny thing, the name is Emeraude, but this the color of the actual perfume is more like peridot, which is my birthstone. So even if I never wore this again, it's going to sit on my vanity because it's one of my favorite shades. But fortunately for me, I don't have to choose. This, yeah, when I smelled it again, I do smell lemon and I do smell orange. And when you put it on the skin, though, you don't get that. You just get powdery notes. It reminds me of a lady, older woman. It does smell like it could be a little more suited for someone a bit older, but it's not completely inaccessible for someone younger either. Certainly if you are younger, a light spritz of this could be wonderful because the powdery effect makes me think of baby powder. And you know, anybody can wear a baby powder scent. It just kind of smells clean. And actually when I sprayed this, I let my mom smell it and she said, oh, you found another one of those clean perfumes? And I'm like, no, this isn't clean. This is completely different. But like I mentioned, it does have a familiarness to it. It does have a really nice powdery effect. I usually tell you all what season this makes me think of. Any fragrance, either it's a home fragrance or a body fragrance, doesn't matter. I'll tell you if it reminds me of a season. Of course, this is green, so you would think springtime, and I would have to agree. This does remind me of springtime, but not spring transitioning into summer necessarily. It makes me think of the cool days of spring. Those days very early in the season, it makes me think of rain. It makes me think of rainy days, but not in a sad way, but rain that simply nourishes the ground and brings things to life without interrupting all of your plans. Kind of like maybe a quick spring shower on a nice, pleasantly warm day. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, it's so interesting because every time I smell it, I think, ooh, lemon, lemon, lemon. But when I smell my wrist, which of course it has had a chance to dry down, I don't smell the citrus as strong. I guess if I really stop to think, yeah, a little bit, just a little bit, but it is a top note. And what you should know about most citruses is that those scents evaporate fairly quickly. So you don't expect to smell like oranges and lemons all day long, even if that's what a scent opens with, simply because those top notes go first. But yeah, it dries down. You smell that powderiness, and yeah, it makes me think of winter. Yes, you could. This absolutely gives me winter, but it does not give me festive winter. It gives me post-Christmas winter, post-holiday season winter time. Could you wear it during the holiday season? It's your body. Wear it whenever you want. But it certainly makes me think of that period after the holidays when you're not wearing so much spiciness. You're not trying to compete with ciders and that sort of thing, but you are preparing for the coming warmer days. You are anticipating more sunshine, longer days, warmer temperatures, things finally coming back from being dead all winter long. That's what it makes me think of. It gives me the hope of spring. And I think that's why the opening being citrus is so appropriate, because it's very hopeful. It's a very hopeful opening, but it dries down to a very appropriate scent for that season. Yes, we're hopeful, but we're not jumping the gun on this. We are taking our time. We're easing into these warmer days. That's what Emeraude makes me think of. And the fact that Billie Holiday wore this just impresses upon me how beautiful she was, both in her energy, in her presentation, even little things like wearing this, because this is a beautiful scent. And I can't see many women wearing it successfully today as back then, simply because women were expected to be a little more formal. There's a formality with this that I could see Billie Holiday just kind of flouting a little bit, but also redefining formality on her own terms. So yeah, I could see her really loving this. I could have seen her with a lot of other spicier ones, as far as spicier perfumes, but I love the contrast of this very powdery and very feminine fragrance on this groundbreaking performer. I just, it's amazing. It's a really interesting story of contrast, because when I smell it, yeah, it's womanly and yeah, it's mature, but it's still got so much softness to it. And I think, unless I haven't seen the most recent Billie Holiday movie, I have, of course, read her story many times and I'm familiar with the details of her life. But for her to be so groundbreaking, you would think she'd wear a scent that is really like, it announces her presence. This is so, I don't want to say stealthy, but this is so quietly elegant. Yes, quiet elegance. And for someone who literally used her voice for the sake of expressing herself creatively, she was a singer, she was a performer. To have something so quietly elegant is absolutely appropriate, because the scent serves the performer. It's not her living up to the impact of the scent. It's the scent as a background singer. And if you are one of those people who lives a very forward progressive life, and you perhaps want a scent that isn't going to compete with your personality, this might be a good option. Or if you are someone who likes to stay a bit more subdued and likes something a little more laid back, this also may be a good option. So if you're interested, I'll put links, I'll put details to the scent profile below, but just remember that this is such a special perfume. And I love that, yes, it is not exactly the same as the original. You can't expect that nearly 100 years later, things change. But I love that since it's a cologne spray, you could easily spray this multiple times during the day without it being overwhelming, because you're looking at probably a 4 to 6 hour wear time, more than likely, which I haven't been wearing it that long, but that's probably what you're gonna expect. So you'd have to refresh, but it's so pretty. And honestly, if you've had experience wearing this scent all day, you may have a completely different story. You might say, you know what, I don't have to respray. I go all day long and this is fine. I don't have to refresh it. If so, leave me a comment telling me your experience with this perfume. So that is Emeraude. That is my review and my thoughts on Billie Holiday's favorite fragrance. There will be more fragrances to review connected to different stars of yesteryear, and I can't wait to share those with you. So if you have any requests, please put them in the comments. there are some scents, of course, that cross over multiple stars of yesteryear. So if I buy one, I'll tell you everybody who wears it if I have a short list. But if not, like in the case of this one, I only saw Billie Holiday really preferring this, so I'll talk about that. But in any case, yeah, I hope you all having a great day, evening, wherever you are. Look out for some more videos. I've got so much going on over here, but the filming has continued, so I will continue filming. But I hope you're having a great day or evening. Take care, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.